Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be making a simple thank you card, and I am going to be using supplies from Stampin' Up. This is their marbled background stamp. It is just beautiful. And I'm also going to be using supplies from the March 2018 Hero Arts Kit. This had wonderful sentiments, lots of this is an area where my stash was lacking in, so I was very happy to get it. And it also came with tons of dies. It came with the dies to fit the banners and the flowers. And then it also came with sentiment dies, or scripty dies. And I was so very excited because I had none of those in my stash. So I am going to be using the thank you. So I've done some prep work already to kind of hopefully make life easy. I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I cut it at 5.5, scored it at 4.25 for a top folding wide card. This is in a 110-pound cover weight, so it's really thick and I love it. And then I also have just a front panel that's 4.25 by 5.5 that I'm going to use to stamp this on. I've already taken the time to die cut the 3 thanks and the 3 U's. I just think they came out really pretty. I was very happy with it. So that's done. And then today I'm going to be using Perfect Plum. I think that that's going to be close. I didn't label my paper, so I don't remember what color they all were. So easiest way to do this is to just lay the stamp out flat on your surface and just go ahead and ink it up. This card I have made several times. It's been a lot of fun and I keep running out of them, so it is popular too. Although it's mostly just popular with me and my family, but still, popular is popular, right? That's how it goes. So I learned this trick from Jennifer McGuire, and I've seen a ton of other stampers do it as well. So first thing, you just ink it up, lay it flat, and then once this paper lands, it's there. Don't go picking it up. So I try to kind of, sort of, get it to where I think it's going to cover. And then I just use a piece of scrap paper to go over it. This works. This has really been probably one of my favorite things. You know, I've told you guys in the past that I order once a year from Stampin' Up. I save up my money and I order once a year, and then I get all the free stuff I can get. Well, all that stuff has come in, and between that and my Hero Arts monthly subscription, I have tons of stamps that I still haven't used yet. So there we go. See, that is just beautiful. So now what I can do is sometimes, like, the edges won't work out so well and you can trim it down to size, but this has worked out really well. I'll probably go ahead and just use the whole front panel. Okay, I also have cut a piece of vellum. The vellum is, this particular one is 4 inches by 1.5 inches, but it can just be whatever you want. That's just what that one is. I didn't cut it specifically to that size. And what this is going to do is just offer a layer to just kind of soften that area, so the thank you will kind of just pop out a little bit more. So you see, without it, it's still beautiful, but it just pops out a little bit more with the vellum. So first things first, I've cut this out 3 times so that I can glue it on top of each other. And it's really simple to do. I'm just using my Tombow mono or multi-purpose liquid, and it's just a couple of dots. It doesn't take a lot. It's amazing how little it does take to get this to stick. Now from here, I've done a couple of different things. One time I adhered the 3 of these together, and then I covered it with glossy accents, which made it beautiful and thick and shiny. The next time I did it, I covered it with my clear ink and embossed it after I had layered the 3, and that was beautiful and thick. So there's just So many things you can do. This time I'm going to try to keep it just like this, and then I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to just add some shine to it and see what that one looks like. Now this is really easy to line up. It's one of those things that, you know, if Adrian can do it, you can do it. Yeah, that's how this one works out. So all the videos will sit there and say, oh, it's so easy to line this up. And they're telling you the truth. It really is easy to line these up. Now, I'm using, like I said earlier in this, the Hero Arts thank you things. But there are so many companies that do this. You can use whichever one you want and have. This just happens to be what I have. So, there we go. Hey, that looked out wonderful. So now let's just do that again. I'm going to add just a little bit more glue right here. I didn't quite get to it fast enough and it dried before. Well, I just didn't add enough. Either way, voila, it's fixed. Like, easy peasy. So, just a couple of just tiny dots. The biggest thing that I'm trying to avoid is having a lot of it ooze out the side, because one of the wonderful things about this particular glue is that if you let it air dry, it kind of becomes like a repositional glue, so it just kind of stays tacky. And the bad side of that is if it leaks out and you don't want it to, then that area kind of remains a little bit on the tacky side. So I'm sure that there's other glues out there. This is what I have. And you know me, I'm going to use what I have. So I think the next time I go shopping, I'm going to try some of that art glitter glue. A lot of people are using the art glitter glue. So I don't know if you have a favorite glue suggestion. Leave it in the comments below. I would love to give what you have a try. Okay, so that didn't take much time at all. Whoops. Well, we'll see what that one does. That didn't take. Now we're just going to do the U. So my goal here is to not have to do the speeding up in the voiceover, because I am discovering that is where I just have my most problems with the editing software, or just pulling it all together. I can do the speeding up and I can do the voiceover, but when I go to marry the two different projects together, it just doesn't seem to be something that I am particularly skilled in at this moment. It will be before it's all said and done. I will figure this out, because it is now a challenge. And my family will tell you, don't challenge me. I will accept. So, but I just haven't been having, like, time is a real issue for all of us. Doesn't it seem like it? I have 3 people that I'm running to different places, which, you know, any mother can testify to that. And then I have the blessing and honor of having my mom live with me. And keeping up with my husband's schedule. And, you know, moms have the most amazing full-time jobs ever. But it does mean that sometimes we don't get the craft time we want. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out the Wink of Stella now. Pull out my scrap sheet. You can kind of see that I have been playing with my new stamps to see what they will do. So hopefully this will lead to some projects in the future. So I am using the clear Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to get it flowing. Woo. Okay, and then just go over it and see if I can give it that sparkle. So I don't know if you can see it, but in real life this is just so very beautiful. So I hear Tonic has a good glitter pen out. I'm sure there's other ones. I've always just been very, very happy with the Rincastella. Okay. And I'll probably just let this dry, and then after I get it on the card, go over it again. But this is allowing me to just kind of messily put it on there, not worrying too much about what goes off the side, because I want the whole thing to just really stand out. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry for a second, move it off to the side, and get this on. As you can see, this is yet another project, just very quick, very simple. Putting it together in minutes. Maybe what we can call it is minute cards. So I don't know. Put it together in minute cards. I don't know. But it's really fantastic is when you can just stamp and go. Like this, you're watching it in real time, hopefully. If not, well, there'll be a voiceover, so that statement won't have existed. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to take the thank you. And dot up whatever areas I didn't get. There we go. Alright, so with vellum, the thing about it is you have to create where you can attach it, because any glue you put on it is going to show through. So what I try to do is just go ahead and apply the words first, and then I'll apply the vellum later. And I'm not going to put glue all the way on this U, because I know that part of it is going to hang off the side just a little bit. And if it's not perfect, it's fine. We got to remember, these things are handmade. If you want something that's always perfect and exactly the same every time, well, then that's when you go and buy something. But handmade gifts are supposed to be from the heart. They're handmade. And you're thinking of people, or you're praying over it. Like sometimes when I'm crafting and the camera's not rolling and I'm not trying to figure out what to be saying next, there are times that I am just praying over, you know, Lord, whoever receives this card, let this be a blessing, or answer their prayers, meet them where they are, just, you know, however the Spirit leads me to pray. I'll just pray over the recipient, not even knowing who's necessarily going to get the card. But I didn't mean to put glue down there. But still just praying over it. So, okay. So now what I have created is I can flip this over, and this is much better to see on white paper. And I can see all the different places that I need to apply the glue at. And now I can also apply the glue here where it comes off the edges. And just a couple little dots. It probably looks way more than I'm actually doing, but just a couple little dots here and there. It doesn't take much to make vellum stick. It really doesn't, which is kind of cool. There we go. So pop that over. Line it up where I want it to go on my card. And pop it down. Now up here you can see I just didn't quite glue it well enough. Not a problem. Just a couple of drops. And down it goes. Okay, shake up the Rincastella and give it another final coat, and then I'm going to call this done. So here you go, another very, very simple yet elegant and beautiful thank you card. So I don't think we send out enough thank yous. So I've been trying to raise my children to always think of sending a thank you, saying thank you. You know, don't use a gift that you've gotten until you've told the sender thank you. You know, I just feel like the words thank you go a long way for making people feel appreciated, loved, and valued. So there we go. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to get some of that sparkle, but if not, in real life, it is truly very sparkly. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this simple yet quick thank you cards using supplies really from my stash. And I will catch you next time. Bye.